This is an Oddcast.
Kev, are you excited?
I'm very excited.
I'm really excited.
Yeah.
So welcome to the pilot episode of the Oddcast. Oddcast.
Beautiful name. What's
Beautiful name. I wonder why.
Why? What's the idea behind the Oddcast, by the way?
I don't know. We're just here. Fuck around. Oh shit. Am I allowed
You
to?
can't say the F word, man. Come on.
I don't, dude. Whatever.
All right.
I'm gonna swear. So, pilot episode of the Oddcast. We hope you join us on this journey where we really take a deep dive into the world of advertising, and at the same time, down some drinks along the way, diba? It's been a long week.
I know. Definitely a long. It's Friday.
Friday na.
Friday night and alcohol, clothes, and life in general.
Life in general.
Yeah, life in general.
So what we do here on the Oddcast, syempre, it's all about advertising, odd takes on ad culture. Odd because come from the same agency,
Yep.
advertising agency. But luckily enough, actually, yung first guest namin for this podcast is, well, someone that, fuck, she created this agency. We're all part of the same agency, and it's very apt na siya yung first guest natin because at least we get a deeper insight into how this is all possible. Is there any other agencies out there with podcasts? I don't think so. But, whatever. So, first guest on the show, pilot episode of the Oddcast, first guest. And I'm pretty sure she won't be the last.
Of course.
And this won't be her last time here either. Please, everyone, please welcome Villafuerte, the chairmom of the Odd Group.
Hello.
Thank you for having being here, Via.
Yes,
We really
of course.
Sorry.
Thanks for inviting me. And
Well, I mean, it's not like we can't invite you because
yeah, for sure.
well.
And also,
Let's
being the first.
Yeah, being the
Being the
first.
first.
Yeah,
I think
It's
that's
an
the
honor.
biggest
Thank
thing.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah. Sorry, sobrang rough. Kasi first episode pa lang. Medyo kinakapapan namin
We
ni
have
Kev.
to like,
Loosen up.
Take
We
a
need to loosen
shot.
up.
Take a
We have
shot.
to.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of shots, hindi siya shot.
Oh, yeah.
Cocktail
this is a
siya.
highball.
It's a highball.
It's not a shot.
But here at the Oddcast, we like to drink.
yeah, definitely.
And every time we have an episode, you like to drink, right?
Maybe, of course, man. Come on, I love drink. Who doesn't love to drink?
I don't know. I think you have to drink if you're in
Of course,
advertising.
I have to drink.
But yeah.
Yeah.
But like I was saying, every time on the Oddcast, we have this special, actually it's not even a segment. Guys, we have a drink of the night.
Yeah, definitely. It's very
And
important.
as you can see, drink of the night is on our tables right now. And maybe we can talk about the drink of the night. The drink of the night is sour candy.
Look at that
It's just
beauty.
a sour
'Cause,
candy.
you know,
Sour candy.
it's important since this is after hours, after work.
Crucial,
Drinks,
crucial.
It's very crucial to
Crucial, yeah.
loosen up
So,
or lube up.
again, just to welcome Via and I guess to welcome everyone to this
Yes.
new thing that we're in. Cheers, guys.
Cheers. Cheers. Ding.
Cheers.
Ang dami nito. Baka...
Ding.
Okay.
So thanks to the Odd Cafe for providing us the plug agad. Thank you, Odd Cafe, for providing us tonight's drink of the night, sour candy. Kev, you had a question about sour candy.
Yeah, I really love candy. And I am also sour.
Parang totoo.
Oh my God.
Totoo naman.
But in all seriousness, I was really curious, Via. What was the inspiration,
The inspiration is
of sour candy? Like, is it a candy?
definitely no. More potent than candy. Well, the inspiration is really the base spirit, which is gin, which is my favorite.
I can taste
And yeah, a lot, right? It's like
Yes.
it's getting
it.
into my
I love it.
yeah. And there's like Aperol, and if you like Angostura, there's bitters there also. But it all ends up in this sour, sweet kind of
Yeah,
like
it's not even
concoction.
that sour.
Yeah,
Like if
for
you
sure.
look at sour candy, I mean the name, diba?
Yeah.
You're expecting something sour. It's very sweet. Actually, not super sweet. I mean, it's a mix. It's a
Oh
balance.
yeah, there is. Well, of course, since it's a sour, like in the sour family, it has, of course, the lemon,
Lemon, yeah.
the lemon juice.
So if you guys want to to try sour candy, Odd Cafe is open after hours.
Yes,
think they also extended-
hours.
Extended
Extended
hours.
hours.
Up until 11.
You can work here. You can, get drunk. Well, you can get drunk. But
Ayan na
be
yung mga aesthetic.
Yeah, you can take
Odd Cafe. Yan ang Odd
pictures.
Cafe.
at the
Oh, for
mirror.
sure.
Yeah.
Pero hindi lang aesthetic,
Oh, more so. Yeah,
the aesthetic na.
the coffee though.
The coffee, definitely.
I will vouch for that.
Yes.
For God Cafe, definitely.
Love it. Love Odd Cafe. So, okay, the reason why you're here, Via, is because we wanted to have our pilot episode, be sort of like a retrospective for you. Because what we want to do for this episode is really want to deep dive into the origins of Oddefy. I mean, obviously, Odd Cafe, Oddcast. What else would it be?
I think there's a pattern here.
We're not sure.
Not sure.
We're
It's
not
like,
too sure, but
I have to
there
look into
is
it.
possibly
yeah.
But
not obvious, not
Yeah.
obvious at all.
So of course, Oddefy Creative, talk to us about it. What is Oddefy?
Well, Oddefy is
Other than an agency.
as an agency. Yeah, we're a creative agency. A lot of composed of oddballs. Obviously, 3 of us are here talking for this podcast.
Is it
and-
weird that we're asking you what Oddefy is, even if we work for Oddefy?
Yeah, it's kind of, but yeah, we can move on.
Next question. No, I think it's still nice to, of course, talk about Oddefy from the person who
Of course.
created and started Oddefy. Because we, as employees, we don't really...
Oh, personally, I've been on this journey with Via
From the
Yeah.
from the
beginning.
beginning. But actually, this is the whole reason why we wanted an Oddcast kasi. Ang dami kong gustong tanong kay Via na hindi ko pa natatanong sa kanya.
So this is the opportunity.
This is
to
the
ask.
opportunity. Natrap ko na si Via, guys.
So interview pala to.
You're trapped.
I'm like the middleman.
And hopefully she can't fire me because she signed this off. So she signed off on this. But yeah, so Oddefy started when it was 2018.
2018 officially, yes.
Yeah. So ilan na ba tayo?
We're I think above 40
Yeah.
for sure. Mga around 47
That's
for
like
now.
one
For
classroom.
now, yeah.
That's true. But when we started, if you remember when I was a baby pa, ilan? She remembers.
4 years ago.
4 years
Yes.
ago, I was
Yeah,
baby.
we started with 14 people.
14.
1-4, 1-4, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So
And
okay,
then we, of course.
let's paint. Obviously, I know the story, but I want to see it from your perspective, and for the benefit of everyone who's listening, paint us a picture. What was the situation when we started the agency?
Well, it started not. Well, I think it's not the most typical start of an agency. We all came from a Singapore agency that tried to penetrate the market here, and then eventually they had to pull out, and then eventually the group then was a different name. I saw the potential, and I saw that we can, make it through the market here independently. So that's how it was. And yeah, that's the beginning, the origins of Oddefy.
So
Yeah.
obviously, I was part of that initial Singaporean agency. We were like a group of 5, 6.
Yeah, a little more. Parang mga 10, a little plus 10.
Really? I thought we were
Yeah.
less. I remember when I first started kasi ilan lang tayo nun.
Yeah, we're like
Medyo crazy. We were cramped
we
in
were
a small
employee
room.
6, I guess.
Where was your office before?
Sa
Penn Brothers.
Penn Brothers. Shout out Penn Brothers.
Oh, shout. I mean, upload pa. Maybe sponsor? It's question mark.
Joke lang.
Okay.
But yeah, I remember we were, cramped in that small room, and it's just amazing to see. Sobrang ang laki na ang dami ng pinagdaanan ng Oddefy. So, the transition from, having that Singaporean agency, obviously employed by that Singaporean agency, into starting Oddefy, what was that like? How did you decide na parang, shit, I'll just start my own thing?
Yeah, I think it's as I've mentioned. It's that certainty that that we're gonna make it independently, because during the time we were kind of working on it by ourselves anyway. So that's about it. Yeah.
Medyo independent.
Independent.
Actually,
Yeah,
yeah,
we've always
we were
been
very
even
independent.
before.
So,
yeah.
when was the like, what were you doing when you decided like, we can do this on our own? Were you doing something, or was there like a strike of inspiration that started?
No, that was like that was very fast, but at the same time, also there's careful thoughts coming into that, because it's not going. I knew it wasn't going to be easy, but yeah, I guess we just pushed through that, and just really yeah, I had to gather all of the courage I can, of course, and had to really weigh pros and cons if that's going to be the direction. Yeah.
I remember that day.
Yeah.
I remember that day when you told us about what was going to happen. I remember what I was feeling. I was just like, that was wild. That was like an episode of Mad Men. Like, if you remember, there was an episode there where everyone had to, yeah. I don't know how
Okay.
far we can go,
Okay. Anyway.
but like,
But
What
yeah.
did you feel like when you were independent? Did you feel anything as you were the pioneer or one of the first
Yeah.
people?
well, I mean, it wasn't any different. Eh.
It was the same. When
It was the same
transition
setup.
happened.
Pero syempre, iba rin kasi yung, alam mong, you're under different management.
Ooh.
Like, it's very different. But in terms of like work, nothing much
It was
changed.
the same stuff, same day.
Yeah. I think there was a lot of enthusiasm when we first started Oddefy, because, dude, we're doing our own thing. And a lot of, a lot of things were being discussed. Like, how, do you remember those times we had to brainstorm for a name?
Oh yeah.
Like, do you remember any of the, yung mga nasa
Oh
chopping
yes,
block?
a lot.
The almost
There's like
name?
One with like 3 p.m. and
3
hungry.
p.m. and hungry. I remember, that was
3
that was one of
p.m.
our,
and
we
hungry.
That was like
shortlisted that.
supposedly. There's one of like, yeah, that's one of the top like options. that
3
we
p.m.
had
and
before.
hungry. So, what we would do then, brainstorm session siya. Parang yung mga brainstorm session natin usually.
Yeah.
Pero ang main objective lang talaga, guys, ano magandang pangalan? Which is like, that's not
Yeah.
something you do
Yeah.
in an agency, because, I mean, when you get employed by an agency, obviously, it's usually
Already there.
work
Yeah.
agad. But we had this special opportunity to be able to really start something and then put our personality into it. That was very exciting to me. I remember we had
Right.
remember when we were almost savant.
Oh yeah. That was
Savant?
like the second.
Savant.
Was the name almost?
Yeah, yeah. Before I think before Oddefy it
Before
was
Oddefy.
Savant.
Yeah, that was a. Yeah.
What
that
was the feeling when you decided on?
You know what? I don't know this story actually. When did you guys
When-
decide
when did you
Oddefy?
decide?
I don't think I was there kasi.
Like Oddefy is the name that will be embraced.
Yeah, I think I just decided that was like the most clear way to encapsulate what we wanted to do within the industry. Like the direction for us is really to change it a little bit more in a way where how do you change something? You oddify it, diba? But you do your spin on something that any agency can do. So that's the
make it
inspiration. You make it odd.
Odd.
Yeah, for sure. That's the keyword there.
Feel ko malaking bagay din kasi yung it's a new word.
being
And all-
odd.
It's good for brand. Coming from digital marketing, okay siya for SEO. Shout out.
Wow.
Kasi
Word
in-SEO ko
bigla.
yan.
Yes,
Sorry. Pero
yes.
ako dude, wild yun. Ako pa nag-setup nung Google. Kaya hanggang
Yung
ngayon,
website din ikaw rin.
No, si Jessie, yung creative director namin dati. Shout out, Jessie. Yung gumawa ng website. And I think the logo also, no?
Si Jessica.
No,
Jessica
no, no,
rin.
no. That was
Jessica.
Jessica, who's now part of us still.
Shout out, Jessica.
Jessica. Hi,
Part
Jessica.
of us pa rin.
Yeah,
So Jessica, talaga, I didn't know Jessica
Je-
made the
that
one.
was
Yeah.
Jessica.
What did I contribute? Parang wala.
No, you're part
Sa
of it.
branding. I was there, but
You're still part of it.
well, yeah. But wala akong input sa
Sa
Oddefy
creation. I mean,
branding.
the identity of the company. Ikaw si letter
Ako,
D.
ang input ko dun ako yung naging IT eh. Yung
Yeah,
IT
ako yung
guy.
naging IT.
Yeah.
Kuya,
Ako yung
pa-install.
Oo, di legit. Ako yung
unofficial.
unofficial
IT.
IT. Ako yung
Tech-savvy
nag-setup.
ka kasi.
Ako yung nag-setup ng domain. Ako yung nag-setup ng Gmail natin. Namin.
Natin?
Namin?
What are you talking about?
Natin. Yeah. So, those first few months, how did it feel different for you? Coming from the older agency into Oddefy? Ano yung mga drastic changes para sa'yo?
Well, of course, knowing that there's no option to fail, because I've been the idea is really more on responsibility, because I knew that I had to make sure that we're gonna be afloating and stabilizing, and that's really different and difficult for a startup. So yeah, it was really more of like I have to game on the entire time, and yeah, it has been very challenging, but I feel that I was unwavering in terms of the resolute that I have to get through the rocky stages for sure. Yeah.
Pero prior to Oddefy ba? Or was Oddefy your first venture into business?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Your
But
first...
I was like, yeah, but business came naturally for me. And also, of course, my degree, which is business economics. So, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
A business economics.
Yeah.
Ooh. Pero prior to handling Oddefy, anong parang department, or rather, ano yung parang arm of business dev? Or
Yeah, business dev,
talaga.
definitely. That's why I knew I'm very I guess my strong suit is really the business acumen. Really that. Which
can
I
see
think was the most
can see.
important thing, because there's a lot of factors coming in eh. But there's a different challenge in maintaining a business, and it's really that yung business acumen.
But how did you hone that business acumen if this was your first venture? Or is it something that came naturally to you?
No,
talaga?
but I've always been a student of life, really.
Damn.
So whenever when I started, I've always been very very observant of anyone, of anything. I always ask myself, how do they go through doing this, creating this? How do they start? And then I kind of like reverse engineer that, and I think this is how they did it.
a lot of winging it.
Winging
On
it.
the-
Yeah, and
like this.
also gut and
Gut feeling, yeah.
and belief in yourself.
Damn.
For sure. Yeah.
Actually, yung pag-reverse engineer, parang it's a way of at least challenging yourself din to understand a concept like a business that is already established. And then you try to inject your own interpretation
Yeah.
of how that business can be started.
Yeah, and it's very different because I came from corporate, and this is, aside from the business, this is the first creative agency that I've been in. So like I had to really learn a lot along the way, but at the same time I never saw it as a deterrent, because then you have a unique point of view that not probably of them were already given. You had to had that opportunity to see it with fresh eyes and say, okay, why don't we do it like this instead of like, this is how it's done.
Good.
Yeah, Anna Winter said,
Damn, I
That
know.
she doesn't ever read anything, any magazines aside from Vogue. That's how she purposefully did it in a way where if she will look at the others, then she will kind of innately just think of how they do it instead of like, you know, again, making your and keeping your eyes fresh on how this particular thing is done. Yeah.
As a strat person, parang nahihirapan ako sa idea na hindi ako tumitingin sa competitors.
Because it's part of your
It's part of
thing.
you.
That's how I'm wired. So,
yeah, you're wired, but there's also ways where you can, but also not to an extent where you excruciatingly take a look at them where wala ka ng unique idea
Yeah.
coming in.
So, ako sa creatives naman, sobrang nag-resonate sa akin yung ganun na thinking. Kasi if nakakita ka ng idea ng ibang brand or ng ibang tao or kahit output nila, minsan naka-cloud yung ano mo eh, like your original direction where you want to go for your idea or your concept. Sinasabi rin, shout out to Faye, ni Faye, yung associate creative director namin, advice niya sa akin is to at least, di ba, keep some fresh ideas. Huwag kang tumingin minsan sa ideas ng iba. Minsan kasi it would cloud your pag-conceptualize ng concepts mo. Just like in business, di ba?
Yeah.
When you keep on looking at other businesses, minsan isipin mo, paano nila nagawa yun? What is something that you, Kaya feeling ko, isang reason why Oddefy became odd. Because sariling spin and perspective
For sure.
and beliefs mo yung nalagay mo
Yeah.
with it in creating
and the
that.
DNA.
Yeah. The DNA of the
I think the
agency.
advantage yun of where we came from. A lot of us didn't come from marketing or advertising backgrounds.
Or weren't like, born to kind of like walk this
Yeah.
journey. Like there's a lot of us were like very underdogs during that time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ako, nabudol ko lang si V.
From
Kaya ako
stores.
nandito, nabudol ko lang siya. I don't even... Marketing for me wasn't something when I was a kid, it wasn't something that I looked and said parang, oh, when I grow up, I want to be an advertiser. Because course ko in college, European studies. Fun fact. And the massive jump from European studies to marketing, it's interesting because I'm not the only one. There are also other people coming from different kinds of backgrounds, but to me that's an important, not one lesson, but important realization na parang where you were before doesn't dictate where you are or where you want to be. Kasi if you really want something, and for me, how I got into advertising in the first place was in college. I was doing social freelances, social media management. Buti may nabudol ako sa first job ko. Kaya ako nabudol si Pia.
Nandito ka na ngayon.
Kaya nandito ako ngayon. So, it's very interesting. But I want to go back to what you said kanina, Via, about I think the advantage of having business acumen when starting a business. Put yourselves in the shoes of someone from creatives, for example, and they wanted to start an agency or from accounts or from strategy. What's the biggest difference between how you were, like your background in business, and what do you think yung parang road to starting an agency from those other kinds of backgrounds? Like, ano yung difference between you and like a creative person or a strat person or an accounts person?
I think not much difference. It's really more of the know-how and knowing what's priority, which is always making sure that the direction that you have is, aside from, of course, having that advantage in terms of what you're offering, is also on one part has to be a piece into the big picture. I think it's always just, I can't say from another person, but generally it's really that having that understanding that big picture is the most important thing, And then from there, that's where you can splice a lot of things, or like, again, know the steps to get there. That's, I think that's one of the things that when you figure that out, you're halfway there already. Yeah.
That's yeah. I agree. I think there's not much I mean, there are differences in thoughts and how you approach. I think the end result lang talaga is the same eh. At the end of the day, regardless of where you're coming from, the goal is to have a thriving business.
Yeah, I think it really falls into your ambition and goal. Eh. Like,
Yeah.
kahit naman, as you mentioned, any industry, kahit anong graduate ka, if you have that ambition or vision for it, eventually you'll have to,
Yeah,
diba?
but yeah. Yeah, aside from the striving, it's really, again, what do you want to put out there? What are the whys, really? What are, I mean, aside from, the success of that, it's really more of, it isn't the success of it specifically, but rather, but going through back to the whys, which was during that time, I made it a promise to myself, as much as I can, that whoever I was with, that I am more than committed to growing that person. That has been my why, personally. And I think within every step of the decision that I had, I always go back there. Why am I giving more value to the people that I'm working with in any way, in their career or in their personal growth? And that has been the why. And I think that's more, to be honest, the more compelling reason for me to push forward, rather than, having, a big, because I actually prefer it,
Yeah.
a mid-size.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't I am not really into, just, conquering the world, but rather having that impact within the people that you can, as much as you can. That's about it. Yeah.
Actually, ikaw, you're a product of,
I am. Yeah. I think
lahat naman tayo, I think, yeah.
I'm sure there are different reasons, but I think one of the biggest reasons why I'm still here is because Via is. Hindi kita binobola.
Binobola ka niya.
No, but yeah, we do have, I think, a good relationship.
Yeah,
Aside from
definitely.
being colleagues.
Yeah.
Happy to have that role with him also. And also, yun nga, it's a two-way eh. Parang you can't mentor someone who's not willing to be mentored.
Yeah.
It's
That's
really
true.
just that.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
two-way street, definitely. Via gave me that opportunity to really expand and grow into where I am now, because I think that's what I'm most grateful for talaga. She let me go and like just experience on my own. And that was what I was looking for after that period in my life eh. Parang, okay, ang feeling ko dito, I'm a piece. I'm just a piece. I'm a pawn. Not man pawn. Yeah, no, I'm a pawn. But the opportunity that was handed to me when I joined Oddefy was really autonomy. I took control of. I had to learn on the fly also. But yeah, I think again, it's a two-way street. Mentorship is a two-way street. And I'm very grateful lang na ganun. Hindi kita binobola. Baka
Yeah,
akala
I
mo
feel
binobola.
Kaya ako nasabi
Hindi
yun.
ako magaling man bola.
Kasi ang ganda ng sinabi ni Via na if you're, lalo na sa mga startups, di ba? The people you hire are some of the, syempre konti kayo, di ba? You really put value dun sa mga employees mo. When you take care of them, grow them, or even not just kahit hindi directly mentoring, di ba?
Yeah.
They'll also help you grow the company.
Siyempre.
For
Di ba ngayon,
sure.
we're here
Yeah.
right now.
Because of everyone.
Pero okay, ito may
entire
tanong ako. What's the difference between leading a team of 10, 12 versus now na 47 plus. Like, what
Well-
are the learnings from, slowly transitioning up in terms of the leading a huge team?
Well, of course, the letting go of control to one extent, in a way where you have to learn to not be a micromanager, to give a space for a bigger team where there will be middle managers that are going to be very important, and you can't grow a team whenever as long as they just abide what's going to be done. So I think that's a difference. It's a different. The bigger it is, the more complex it is, and there's a lot of growing as a leader, where you have to learn what is really more important, what has to have most of your attention, and what can be let go, or how will you empower the team to be able to do this by themselves, and a lot of trust. You have to have trust in your team that they can do it, because how will they do it if you're not going to be letting them do it? Yeah,
That's true.
for
That's
sure.
how I
Yeah.
grew. Yeah. So I like that you mentioned the trust in the team. When we first started, how did you handpick the pioneer team from before? And like, what were you looking for? Obviously, the Via now is totally different from the Via before. Definitely. So,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
what's the
evolve.
mind space into
Well,
handpicking that pioneer
the,
team?
there wasn't well, I was given a team already in a way. So I had to do with the team that I had. So I didn't have like all of the people that I needed during that time. I mean, what I mean is, like, I need, like, let's say during that time there's just one HR person. We don't have the finance. Like all of those, very
Yeah.
important departments that are very, very loose during the time. For a lot of startup is the same.
Kaya IT ako dati.
Yeah. So so yeah, dual, 'di ba? Filling the pieces that are needed for us to work and operate smoothly. That was the thing. That was the main
Necessity.
the necessity, the skeletal out of, the whole thing, where you need to. And as you grow, you learn, of course, to decipher what a good person or an addition in the team is going to be. That's where you learn to hire better,
Yeah.
and at the same time you get to be better in honing these people. The intention has always been the same, to come from a point where whoever we hire, be the first thing that I think is, how is this person gonna be growing? Like, I don't want anyone to feel that this is it. This is as much as I can. So there's a lot of careful thinking, strategizing in in coming up with a structure where everyone will have that opportunity. Again, goes back to the why.
Yeah.
And there's always that, parang there's always a synergy, or that point where you can do it all. You don't have to sacrifice the goals just to maintain. You can do that together, through that, by yun nga, just sticking to what really is the most important for you as a person, and why you're doing this. Yeah.
Would the Via of today hire the same pioneer team from 4 years ago?
Oh, for sure.
Ay.
For sure.
Ikaw ulit?
Yeah.
Nagpabola lang ako.
Nagpabola ka lang.
Joke lang.
Yeah, of course. Aside from most of them being friends, hopefully, after that, yeah, I think it was really a very, very big factor as to why we're still here, and why we've propelled in that in that way because, again, it's always your team. You can shepherd everything, but at the same time, it will always go back to them. So that's why every win is a team effort, and highs and lows, always like that.
Speaking of wins, I want to go back to when we were like back then. So obviously, when you transitioned, very totally different, starting Oddefy, being independent and on our own. Do you remember the first time you felt na we're gonna be okay? Shit, this is gonna go. It's gonna go well.
Oh yeah. Well, I think in terms of being comfortable, never.
No.
It has never been like that. I don't want to ever feel like that.
Fair.
Like I feel that there is something to be done. Like it's a life of improving and just being more to just be better. But in terms of like the know that we're gonna be okay in a way where we can do it.
Yeah, like the confidence.
From the start. From the start.
Ooh.
It has always been like that. And not no no bull. I think that has been my manifest in a way where even if I mean it has not been the most easy way up. Aside from the agency, there's a lot of factors that are really beyond your control. But I have always been very sure that we'll get through the next step. Only because I also know, and else as a Capricorn, I always plan ahead
Fair.
two
Fair.
yeah, 2 steps ahead. Always, always. That's why yun nga parang there's no, kumbaga, again, I hold my promises very, very sacred. Yun.
I remember that promise.
Yeah.
Ako meron akong question. No Oddefy na kayo. First win nyo. Anong una mong ginawa?
Oh, we were there.
What was our first win?
The first I remember was we came from a pitch, really. I think you were there. I can't say
Yeah,
any.
yeah.
Yeah, of course.
But we were in a mall, and we heard the news, and I was so elated because during the time, yun talaga parang you need the vouch, not for yourself, but really
Validation.
it's really important. It's really more for the agency, and that it's needed to that
Wait,
it
I remember.
needs to have that.
Is this the client or?
No, this is an award.
The award.
that we
Yeah,
that we
I remember
won.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I remember that.
I think you cried.
Clearly. I
You
cried.
cried?
Yeah, she cried.
Yeah, I
remember.
cried definitely
She cried, she
because yes, definitely because again, that was hard work for sure.
How
And I was
how many years were we in? Like 2 years.
When
na?
we won, I think
2 years in.
yeah.
2 years in.
Yeah.
Wow.
2 years of hard work, bro.
Grabe. Ikaw, anong feeling mo nun?
I was there. I was there.
Yeah.
We were in.
I remember.
what
Anong
was
mall?
that?
Anong mall?
Alala ko yung mall na yun kasi
Bas-
hinahanap ko yung
Tiendesitas, I think.
No, it was in I forget what mall, but I remember it because humiwalay ako sa inyo kasi nagtitingin ako ng Funko Pop.
Oh, yeah. yeah.
Priority.
Tapos pagbalik
Definitely.
ko, parang, oh shit.
Why is everyone crying?
So when I heard the news, I was just happy. I wasn't part of that team, if I remember correctly. But tama Sylvia, it comes to a point na, you're working with these people in the trenches, day in, day out. And to feel that sort of validation from, award-giving bodies or whoever the hell it is, it's really, doon ko na-feel na may puso ako. Kasi
Grabe.
na-feel ko, I felt happiness for someone else.
Yeah.
For the team. So,
For
yeah.
sure. Yeah, that's one of the best moments.
highlight, core memory.
Core
memory.
memory.
Core memory.
I
Core
can
memory,
remember, yeah,
Aw.
that exact time
Tapos
that I...
nagpa-lunch si madam.
Ay, kumain kayo agad.
Of course.
Anong in-order nyo? Yung tinanong
K-barbecue yun, naalala ko.
Korean barbecue strip. Wala pa ako
Ata.
nun.
Actually, ata. Hindi ko maalala.
Yeah.
Ang saya naman.
Yeah.
How about the flip side? Ano yung
What about it?
Low?
low point?
Hindi naman low.
Low.
Challenging. The
Challenging,
most
okay, not low
challenging.
point. One of those, experiences na parang you felt really, really down or worried about the state of whether it's the agency itself or your own state. Like, what was one of those moments for you in the 4 years of having Oddefy?
Well, definitely pandemic. So far, like, it has been... I think everyone will relate to this because of the uncertainty, and as someone running a team where you have to stay afloat, that's very scary to an extent. But
Sure.
yeah, but again, during that time, of course, on a personal, I had to learn how to go through that, and power through that. And during that time, naka-bubble, ano pa tayo, like,
Oh my
we were in
God.
bubbles. So I was with myself, by myself, during the time that I had to do that. But then again, yun nga eh, parang always that mindset that you can't fail. So you have to just, power through, and given that, of course, your team is leaning on you also for support and that strength. I think that's the inspiration for me, na parang get over it, because a lot of people are also experiencing difficult times, and it's really just, we're in it together. Parang ganon. Yun yung feeling during that time. Yeah,
It was weird because we didn't know what was gonna happen.
for sure.
Remember when we had to stay home the first time? I think that was
Yeah.
March 2020. I didn't expect it to last
Yeah.
2 freaking years.
Yeah. You know the state of the office
Yeah.
was really parang there was an earthquake probably, and no one got to go back. Parang there were like rubber shoes everywhere, and
Ay, oo nga.
and there's like a
Nag-iwan
lot
kami ng
of
gamit.
yeah, parang it was another day, and then it
Biglang wala
just
na.
stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I remember that. I think that was I'm not sure if it's a Monday or a Wednesday. Yeah, I think a Wednesday, when we kind of like started to say, okay, you all have to back up all of your files, because we might
Have to work from
we
home.
might
Yeah.
have to work for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I think that was the thing.
Yun yung cast
the
pa
most
that
the
time,
most
dude.
that
Wild.
the most that we were thinking was 2 weeks, and then eventually like, oh no, we can't. And yeah, that was it.
2 years.
2 years.
2 weeks to 2 years. That's
And-
crazy.
Grabe nga yun. It was
Yeah, that
so
was
challenging.
Pero
Lalo,
eye-opening yun Kasi doon na-realize ng tao na work
It
from
can-
home
can
is
work from home.
possible.
Yeah,
Especially for us.
you were
Yeah.
pushed to think of ways to work,
yeah.
despite the, of course, limitations.
I didn't think of that. I was thinking, like, when I asked you that question, or yeah, I would have thought like a big loss, or like nung sinabon tayo ng kliyente, for example. Pero yeah, that makes sense. I think as a business owner, I can't put myself in your shoes yet, obviously. And thinking about what the pandemic did to your business, and not just your business, like every other business that's reliant on face-to-face working, or everything was disrupted. And I guess di ko ma-imagine gano'n ka messed up kay para
Yeah,
kay
imagine
Bea yun.
mo, ikaw pa yung CEO, di ba? Like, how will you sustain with the pandemic? Like, there's an office, you don't use it, and you don't know how to track, di ba?
For sure, that's also one.
Grabe din ng
The letting go of control, really.
Yeah.
And that's where again, the values that we had came in handy for us, because I really trust them. That I think I think that I think the trust really paved way for us to go through, diba? Diba again, you cannot see the people whether they're working or not, but it's really just the fate that they will. And sometimes if you trust people, it turns out that they actually
It's
follow
possible.
through.
Yeah.
No, most of the time.
Yeah.
If you trust someone, it's rarely that they disappoint you. So trust as much as you can. That's how
Ooh,
I.
that's interesting.
Yeah, and parang for me always trust until it's proven wrong. Not na
Benefit of the
parang
doubt.
prove me first. No, I'll trust you until I realize you're not worthy of that trust.
That's the
Wow,
Yeah.
That's a new perspective.
that is a new perspective.
Yeah,
Kasi ako, I don't want to say it's hard for me to trust people. I'm a very trusting person, I think.
Really?
hideout.
But that's a fresh perspective kasi ako, sigurista kasi ako eh. Parang I want to assess and make sure this person is
Trustworthy.
someone you can trust.
Yeah.
So that's a very interesting thing.
Actually, agree rin. Ganyan din ako eh. Like, I don't really trust. Parang, itetest ko pa to the point na okay ba siyang pagkatiwalaan. Kaya nga, fresh din eh, yung take na yun. Maybe, is it, because, is it in a business mindset? Or is it in general?
Well, in general,
In general talaga.
that was a deliberate decision for me to approach everything beyond career then and through the beyond businesses, even the people, diba? Why do they have to prove themselves to you? Why don't you try to see, diba? Parang it's a different.
It, like,
it's a
enables-
small.
That's a very
It's a small and
Yeah.
big thing. Yeah.
no, that's like it's a small tweak into a mindset, but
It's big ripples, di ba?
yeah,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Napareflect tuloy ako bigla.
Ako rin eh.
Na parang, mali ata thinking ko. Hindi naman mali, parang that's a better way to take it. Kasi,
That's
nga
a-
naman, bakit ka magda-doubt, di ba?
I'm rethinking my whole life.
Ako rin eh, napareflect ako dun sa line, parang,
That's crazy.
hey.
That's crazy.
Pero ang gandang perspective. As in,
I've
in a
been-
business standpoint, it's nice to hear it. Lalo na tayo.
That's true.
Di ba? In our
You
generation.
don't hear that from business owners. I
Yeah.
think more often than not,
Oo.
because when you think business owner, parang from what I'm exposed, because my parents are business
Business.
people. My brother has a business. It's always you have to be ruthless. You have to.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of perspective I know. But you're telling me right now, trust as much as you can.
Yeah, but
My mind is like,
yeah, for sure. I mean, trust means also that you're not gonna be blindly trusting people.
Of course, you have to be
Right?
smart.
I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
you have to, of course, see them as it is and have that discernment before.
yeah.
But at the same time, just discernment isn't, judgment or casting something that you don't really have a way to know aside from, trying it. And I think that's where I'm coming from. Definitely trust, but also discern before you trust. Right?
Yeah.
There's a
There's a difference.
There's a difference,
also.
yes.
Blindly trusting is different from
Yeah.
I get it. Now I'm gonna have to.
Reflection time.
Medyo what I did not
time.
expect.
Actually, ako na-appreciate ko yung perspective. Kasi, alam mo yun, like, na-realize ko na yung generation of future leaders and business owners are changing in terms of honing people eh.
Oh, yung mga business owner ngayon, mga meme lord na ngayon.
Oh, mga meme lords.
Ka-age na natin yung
Ka-age
mga-
na natin eh, di ba? Like, they're more in tune with the people and they...
Would you say would you say our generation is more empathetic?
Oh, definitely.
Yun, yeah, exactly.
Definitely, because there's a lot of, again, empathy that's
Empathy.
going, and I think it starts there. And I've been in through structures where yung ruthless is, parang you have to be cunning, you have to
Yeah.
do that, and you have to be shrewd.
Yeah.
I think shrewd is really important. You have to be shrewd.
That's right.
But at the same time, you don't really necessarily have to be ruthless, you know, in a way where it's not necessary.
Yeah.
Yun. Because I think it's coming from lack of, again, understanding and empathy. And you realize that most of the time it's a matter of communication rather than that person is deceptive. Like, I mean, in my life, I can't say for everyone but I think it has worked for me. Yeah.
Have you been in that situation where, so obviously before you started Oddefy, you were in corporate. Were you in that situation nga na yung direct superior mo or yung boss mo ruthless or
Oh yeah, I was raised by wolves, really.
Damn.
Like I always I don't know, whenever I get into another job, it always is the case where I get the most strict person. But after all of those, siguro I had three, like mga terror, na tipong alam mo yung na-IR, ganon. But at the same time, the reason why I am like this is also because of them. Because I saw them as mentors that are not are unwavering to their standards. And that really taught me a lot. To really kind of like the grit I have, yung the resolute that I had, I really got it from them. And yun nga, it's really just perspectives. Na parang if I cannot say kasi sometimes the boss is that way just because they compensate for something that alam mo yun. I mean, mga jerks, 'di ba? Ganon. I mean, there are a lot. There's a lot, but ako I like kasi being challenged by my supervisor or
Yeah.
the superior that I have. Like I like the challenge. I kind of like run towards it nga to an extent because I've always been very curious and very thirsty of learning how that's done. And the more that you say I can't, the more I'm like, I think I'm gonna prove you wrong. Ganon. I'm kind of like that always.
Gets.
Yeah.
You get motivation from people
Yeah,
who doubt.
I am that's a motivation for me. Yeah.
Sarap.
Damn,
Solid.
big PP energy.
Oh.
That's big PP energy.
Tama.
Tama, facts
Sometimes you
yun.
need,
Yeah,
I don't want to say you need big PP, but
the motivation
Yeah.
enlarges the. I mean, empowers you
Oh my god.
after hours lang.
after hours.
After
The
hours.
alcohol is talking.
So I appreciate, these discussions, but let's change it up.
Yeah.
Let's change it up a bit.
Right.
So let's play a game.
Okay.
I thought actually it's not a game. It's a thought exercise, and it's connected to starting an agency, which is essentially what you did. So I want you to start an agency. Think about like anyone, fictional, non-fictional celebrities, whoever. Start an agency with 5 key positions. So the key positions are creative director, accounts director, strat, HR, and finance. Sino yung build? Who are you gonna build an agency with? No limits. Can be characters.
Can
Fictional.
be anyone.
Can be anyone.
Like, kunyari, creative director ko, si Stuart Little.
Bakit?
I know, it's a rat.
Why?
I mean,
But that's a horrible example. But
Horrible
do you know where we're going from?
Yeah. As in one person?
One person each to fill the position of strat director, creative director, accounts
the sky is the limit.
Oh.
Pwede siyang
Okay,
fantasy.
got it.
Who you'll build an agency with.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
person or a fictional.
Pwede fictional. Kahit sino.
Whoever, celebrity.
Yeah.
We'll chime in also.
Yeah. Ano yung first position?
Let's do creative director
Yeah.
first.
Who's your creative?
Who's your creative director?
Director. Yeah, well, even mga dead.
Yeah, even dead
Yeah.
people.
Virgil Abloh, definitely.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's a good shout. That's a good shout.
Sino siya? Can
Yep.
you-
From Off-White.
The guy that did Off-White,
Yeah.
the brand, the
Yeah.
why Virgil Abloh?
Because I like that type of that that because the premise of Virgil is really to simplify and see beauty even with prototypes. And he was able to come up with something very fresh in a very condensed, oversaturated creative space. And yeah, I think I like also the person because he's a good man.
Rest in peace.
Yes, rest in peace. And yeah, that I like the simplicity of the and the complexity that is found with the work that he was doing.
Tingin mo kaya niya magsabon ng
No.
kliyente?
I can't say because I don't know the guy, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Pero I mean, if I will judge, definitely because he won't be there if he wasn't able to.
Well, that's true.
He wasn't able to convince
Yeah.
key people, because he could have been easily gone through a path of oblivion,
Yeah.
but he was lauded at 30 plus years of existence. He was already an eye in design
Yeah.
and
It's a good shout.
yeah.
You should read about Virgil Abloh.
Yeah, I'll try. Sorry, Stuart Little yung example.
Samana Stuart Little.
Nahiya ako doon
ako
sa-
nga, ako naisip ko si Banksy nga eh.
Banksy.
Ako more on the creativity talaga yung ano. Tsaka I like the mystery. I like mysterious people.
Right?
I'm
Also
mysterious
the,
eh.
Also the
Oo nga
depth.
Joke.
The depth and also the humor.
Yeah,
Both.
that's what you need.
Yeah.
For me, that's what I'm looking
Humor.
at. For a
And
creative
effective
director.
communication. Very,
Tsaka
very,
may meaning.
There is
May core
all
talaga.
the way.
Oo.
Yeah.
Pwede ko bang palitan yung akin?
You.
Hindi na pala si Stuart Little. Na-joke lang.
What about accounts director?
Accounts director, sobrang, since ito yung bridge from the agency and the brand, dapat calm person to.
Needs to be a good communicator for
Yeah.
sure. Who's mine? I'm thinking also today.
Ayoko na si Stuart Little.
Director.
You think it's someone that needs to be super organized?
No.
Not necessarily.
Well, of course, it's a needed.
Yeah.
Parang you have to have good organizing skills. But more than that, really is leadership and tenacity. Because
Tenacity.
and also yun kasi they really are the first to be shot for
Yeah.
her, and this person has to be
Yeah, matatag.
again very
Matatag.
the grit has to be there, the heart has to be there, because of that.
Ako si Hulk Hogan. Joke.
Si Hulk Hogan.
What you gonna do, brother?
I guess L from
Death Note? Joke.
Legally
Note din.
Blonde.
Oh,
Yeah.
Elle Woods.
Yeah,
Elle Woods.
Elle Woods there. Because of her the perseverance that she has.
That's true.
And the heart, and of course the front facing.
Oh, grabe yung
And the grace
charisma yan.
grace
Grace under pressure.
for sure. Elle Wood.
Don't tell me you haven't seen
Elle
Legally
Woods.
Blonde. Oh my God.
I'm gonna watch it after this.
That's a good one. I
Right?
agree. I'm sticking with Hulk Hogan. What about strategy director?
Strat
Strat.
planner. or
This one,
director.
you need someone who can really sit down and really piece things together. That's I think a strat
Right.
director.
Well, there is an actual strat person that I follow. Let me just get. His name is. I will plug because everyone, not just the the strat people.
Ay, ingat ka na.
Oo nga eh.
Wait.
Sa stock ko na rin yan.
Stock na natin.
Para yung trabaho ko secure.
Kakabahan ka na.
Medyo kinakabahan.
Can we
Local ba
cut
siya?
this?
Local ba?
No, no.
Okay,
no.
thank God.
No.
Strat
I
director?
met him.
You
In
met
Cannes.
him?
You met him?
Yeah.
Patay ka, mag-ingat ka na.
But he's from New York.
Oh, you met him when you went to New York?
No, during Cannes.
Oh shit. Oo nga pala.
Yeah. Oh my God, I can't. Ewan ko, nagba-blank yung ano ko yung...
Ikaw, sinong strat director?
Strat director. Ako. Joke.
Well, besides sa'yo, syempre.
Strat director.
Let me... Sige, anyway, I'll think of another one.
Sige.
Sige.
Strat.
Boring siguro kung sabihin ko Abraham Lincoln.
Hindi naman.
Strat.
Ako, no? May superhero ba na mind reader?
Actually, oo nga.
Oh, wait. Better. Mulan.
Oh.
Because again, she proves to be someone that can see angles, you know, during times when there isn't an angle to look into.
That's true.
Yeah, Mulan.
That's a good shot. Now I'm thinking Li Shang.
Leash.
Li Shang.
Okay na strat director, no?
Dapat ano?
Dapat, ako, ay, alam mo na,
Sina?
Professor X.
Oh,
Kanina,
that's a
inisip
good
ko nga
one.
kanina yung
That's a
Professor
good
X.
one.
GG yung mga brief.
Lahat na-
Wala pang briefing, alam na niya yung brief.
Oo, alam niya yung insight kasi siya yung source.
Oh, legit.
I read
Professor X.
the whole community downtown. Sabi
Hindi
nila
na siya
ito.
nagsasurvey eh.
Hindi siya nagsasurvey.
Alam na niya yung mga iniisip ng mga tao. Good. Ikaw,
Ayun nga yung sasagot ko eh, kaso
share na lang tayo.
share na lang. Sige. Wala akong originality.
Oh, what about HR director?
HR.
HR is a very important
Yeah, very
aspect to a
important.
business,
Brings-
especially in agency.
Yeah, brings
Brings
value.
stability to the agency. Keeps the people not just in line but happy.
But happy, yeah, exactly.
I think...
Kailangan ba marami siyang connections?
Hindi rin.
Hindi naman.
I think it needs to be someone who can reach out to people and really form connections.
Like,
Because
friendly ba siya? Like,
friendly, pero
approachable.
friendly, but he needs to be empathetic
empathetic.
and needs to be able to put their feet into others' shoes. Tama ba yung
Kala
idiom?
ko in water, ano ba?
Oo nga.
In water ba? On in mud?
Shoes? Feet?
Feet?
Hindi ko alam.
Sino kaya? HR director.
Shit, parang hirap pala na to.
Oo nga eh.
Mag-hire?
I'm thinking of more creative answers for this.
Pwede ring celebrities. Pwede ring...
HR. Parang, tingin niyo ba kung masaya si Michael Scott as an HR director? Parang medyo kagulo yun.
Nadidinig ko na yung boses niya. Oh no!
Maybe James Corden, just because he's so light.
God.
And yeah, and he can carry good conversations where people will feel at ease. I think that's a key attribute an HR has to have.
James, I hate James. I'm sorry.
Really?
I know it's your answer. I hate James Corden with a passion. He's never getting on this show.
Yes.
I don't like that guy.
Oh God.
No, because
Why?
apparently he's a dick.
Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's a dick.
he's a dick.
Oh,
In real
I
life.
didn't know. But
He's like Ellen.
Okay, the James Corden,
On cam.
not behind the one behind
The
camera.
show.
But the show, because
Kasi yung pakikitungo
yeah,
niya sa tao.
for sure.
May naisip na ako.
Why didn't I haven't?
Oh, he's a dick. He's a... Hi, James Corden.
Hi, we're not trying to bash you.
Pero...
Okay.
Pero,
Okay.
sa akin si Conan O'Brien.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh,
Perfect.
Actually, that's a good one.
That's a good one. I
You
love
know,
Conan
Conan's
also.
a Harvard graduate.
Yeah.
Harvard ba?
Ang tali-
Harvard graduate. He's
Tsaka-
smart.
Really?
He used to write for The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Sobrang
Oh,
creative. Actually, naisip ko rin siya as creative
creative
director.
He would make a good creative director.
Yeah,
But he would also inject personality to a company.
definitely.
So as HR, I think it's a good fit also.
yes.
Yeah.
Parang ang saya ng Conan O'Brien yung naglilid ng
Naglilid ng-
Halloween party.
Oo, ipaprank niya tayo.
Oh yeah,
Oo.
may MC na.
Oo, diba?
Ayun na, diba?
Yan.
Ang saya nun, no? Tapos isiskit ka. Bigla kang kikidnapin sa bahay.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
And last, sino yung last?
Last, not the least, finance director.
Fine na.
Money.
Money.
I love money. Mr. Krabs.
Mr. Krabs.
money. O, saan yung pera?
$1 million!
Sorry ang sabaw, hindi yun seryoso sagot ko. Dapat magaling siya mag...
Ako nga, yung sagot ko dito, Scrooge McDuck eh.
Ay,
Pero parang
parang nakakatakot. Nasa vault yung pera ng pero puro barya.
Nagsiswimming lang siya.
Nag-swimming lang.
Sobrang wala akong maisip.
Finance director.
Finance director.
Magaling ba dapat mag-math?
Oo. Dapat magaling siya mag-problem solving.
Oh.
Because a lot of, when it comes to finance, syempre, problem solving rin siya.
Yeah.
You need to solve budget problems. You need to solve, those kinds of things.
Any one of the sharks.
Shark Tank.
Yeah. Probably, is a good one. Because aside from the obvious that they have to learn and has to be good at accounting,
Yeah.
more important with a finance director is someone who knows where to invest. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's
true.
good. Yeah.
Who's your favorite shark?
See the guy?
Mark Cuban.
Yeah, Mark Cuban.
Me too. I think everyone's favorite. Because Mark Cuban always invests for some reason.
Yeah.
Like I saw a post on Reddit. Parang break down niya yung data nung Shark Tank. The most likely to invest daw talaga is Mark Cuban.
Oh.
Regardless of, if he thinks it's gonna win or not. More likely than not, he's
game of numbers.
Oo.
Really.
Yeah. Mark Cuban's good.
Yeah.
Also, shout out Dallas Mavericks.
Yes.
But yeah, so you now have a full team. So your creative director is Virgil A. Blow. Who's your accounts director?
Elwood.
L. Woods. And then we have
Mulan.
HR is
James Corden.
James Corden. And we have Mark Cuban, finance director.
Mark
Wow.
Cuban.
That's an all-star team.
That's a powerhouse.
yes.
That's a
Power
powerhouse.
agency. Grabe.
Pero syempre dahil si Via ang managing director, million na ang kinikita nitong agency na to.
For sure.
All right, I think that's all the time we have. But before we go, maybe what's your message to, maybe there are people out there who want to start their own agency. Maybe there are people out there who want to start advertising in general. What's the one thing that you want them to take away from you?
Well, number one is, of course, going back to the why. Because I want to go there because I think your work has to transcend to who you are. Because at one point, if you're doing, 12 hours of this or more, it becomes a part of your life. So if it's not within your compass of, or your values, or you think you're kind of doing this just because you want to be successful, I think that's a hollow foundation to move forward. Because during the times when it gets tough, you really go back to your why, and that's really the thing that will propel you. Yeah.
Shout out. So, anyone wants to start an agency? Nowhere else better to get advice from than Miss Via Villafuerte.
Definitely.
Thank you.
My man. So yeah, we did it.
Yeah,
Pilot episode of the Oddcast.
Sobrang, actually, parang ako yung napareflect eh.
Oo nga eh. Actually, ako rin.
Ako yung ano.
Now I'm enjoying doing this because...
Yeah. Thank you so much, Via. Actually,
Thank you so much.
Understanding how the process goes,
Yeah.
the hurdles you faced, even the way you process and decide on
Crazy.
things.
Di ako makatulog tonight, guys.
Tabi na lang tayo.
Sige.
Ah,
So
yeah.
thank you everyone for tuning into the first episode of the Oddcast. Catch our next episodes. As we go along, we'll be talking more about advertising culture, advertising life, ins and outs of marketing, whatever the hell you want to listen about. Follow us on our socials down here or here
Feeling ko
or
dito.
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 Yeah. Follow us
Click
here.
here.
Click here.
Click here.
Click here.
Wish.
Uy, grabe, ano tayo. Made-demonetize tayo.
I wish you a Merry Christmas.
Naman.
Sobrang paduino.
Oo nga.
Alright, thanks guys. Have a
Thank
good one.
you.
Thanks, guys. See you.